Well, hey, thanks for joining me. Welcome to the Fun Zone. My name is Nordista Freeze. I'm an artist out of Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm very excited today to have two guests from season one rejoining me together as we have a conversation, catching up with both of them, seeing what they've been up to during quarantine, and talking about their musical endeavors. So please welcome Ella Mine and Jac Thompson into the Fun Zone. What's up?
What's up?
Hey, Jac. How's it going?
Hey, man.
Jac
It's going
Thompson.
well. Hello, everybody. It's me.
It's really good to see you.
It's good
I
to
think
see
we
you,
got
too.
Ella, too. Do you see her? She's sideways.
Oh. Hey, if you flip your camera and then flip it back, I bet it'll fix it.
um.
Hello.
Hey, Ella.
Whoa, wait, do I have to tap this to talk?
I don't know. It's good to see you.
You too. How's it going?
Hey, friends.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. I'm very glad to have both of you here. I haven't seen either of you in a minute. Where have y'all been?
Yeah,
Where have I
It's so
been?
long.
Freeze.
I know. Have y'all been doing anything fun? What's been up?
Oh, man. Just, staying healthy and making music when we can. I speak for both of us.
Hey.
Yeah. I don't talk anymore because can't talk anymore.
Whoa! Look at that mask.
What do you think of my new COVID idea? I think instead of like a regular mask, we should all just wear these. What do you think?
No.
I think that would work.
I hate it.
I think it would be so much more fun.
I think it would be like Halloween every day. No, I'm just kidding. I think I could have a good attitude about it.
Jac, your mic is a lot hotter than Ella's.
Oh, then maybe I'll turn it down.
Turn it down a hair if you could.
I totally can.
Last
Freeze,
time.
what's up? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I'm here in in the
closet.
in the closet. This is my new space. This is my new office.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm just at home working on a bunch of different projects, and really it's just a day by day these days. I don't think too far ahead right now. It's just about getting what I need to get done within that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's good.
Jac, where are you drinking coffee from?
I'm drinking coffee from the well. Is my mic? Do you think I should go down?
I think you should come up now.
Oh my goodness.
Meet that in the middle. What are you drinking, Ella?
How's that?
Oh, I'm drinking coffee out of a rabbit room mug that is the kind of shape that keeps my coffee warm for a long time.
Wow, yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's the perfect
like
shape.
It is, and I'm like I drink it slowly, and so this is perfect for me because it keeps it warm. Jac, you're a fast coffee drinker, right?
Oh yeah, I do everything fast.
Whoa.
Just whenever I'm like, if it's liquid or yeah, I drink and eat fast. Wait, Ella, what I know that there's big arguments about mug types. Oh, Freeze just flexes with his own mug. What would that one be called? Like that shape? Because I know that there's.
I don't know.
Really? Because there's the diner shape, which is like the overdub mug,
Yeah.
Or like the Waffle House mug. Right?
Yeah.
And then there's the cappuccino shape, which I actually like to do that. I like to get a cappuccino mug and then have like my 16-ounce to-go coffee cup. And then you just slowly pour it in the cappuccino. So you still feel fancy, but you get the heat.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's nice. Wow, our barista friend Jac is really educated.
Okay, so
clever.
So then how do you pour the perfect latte is what I'm just kidding.
Let's cut to it, Jac. We want to know, How's the album coming? How are you?
Yeah.
Last time we talked, you just funded your album. You were the second guest. No, Ella was the second guest. You were the fourth guest on the entire show.
Yeah.
And now
Do
you're
I still
back.
have the Do I still have the longest running episode?
You do, as far as I know. We can check, but yeah.
Whoa.
That feels good, especially after how many you've done. Because what are you on season 2 right now?
Yes. So this is episode 46 today.
That is so cool, Freeze.
Are they?
These are amazing.
Are they
Thank
broken
you
up
so
into
much.
seasons?
Yes, there's 30 episodes per season is kind of what I'm going for. But yeah, you're 2 hours and 9 minutes. Smaz was 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Gosh, the day that he figured out that he didn't have the longest podcast episode was
it was his own fault. It was his own fault. He had something he had to do later that night. He was like going on a date or something. So I was like, well, you're not going to get the longest fun zone if you plan a date. You got to be single to get the longest
oh no, yeah.
the longest fun
For
zone.
sure. That's awesome. Well
yeah.
worth it.
How are things going? You still making the album?
Dude, the album, yeah, it's thanks for asking about it. Things are different than I thought they would be. Right now I'm still in pre-production, surprisingly, and I know that's a lot of, oh my goodness, Siri thought I was talking to her. That's kind of weird. I don't think y'all heard, but she's talking in my ears. So yeah, I mean, I am looking for an engineer for my record, and I'm having a lot of meetings with mentors that are much smarter than me and have been around a lot longer, and we're looking for the perfect engineer for the record. Also, still getting reference tracks. That's been a super fun but also daunting task. And basically, what a reference track is, for all our listeners, is it's like it's not like you want to copy a piece of music, but in order for the engineer and producer to have context for what you want, it's really helpful to create playlists of music that you like. And sometimes a song you'll be like, you'll put it on a reference track, but you're like, I just love the bass on this track, it's interesting to sort of break that down. But in the end, I think it's going to be really helpful. I think now we're sort of narrowing in on what exactly I want for the project, which I'm just so glad to have.
That's good.
Time to break that down. I feel really lucky.
That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. That's interesting. Wow. So I mean, when was the album fully funded? When was your Kickstarter campaign?
Late July.
Late July. Wow.
So
it's been about half a year.
It has. It's been about half a year. Hold on. Let me see this light that's right here.
Actually, no. It's been like August, September, October, November. It's been like 4 months.
Jac's reference track playlist is on. It's like nothing more excited about than listening to this reference track playlist. It's so cool.
You've heard it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it live?
Well, no. It's a big secret.
Oh, okay.
I think I'll. Well, no, not really, Ella. It's not a secret for you, or for anyone to know about it, that its existence. But it's like you can make playlists secret on Spotify, and I'm sure at one point I'm going to share it. I'm excited to share it, but I feel like it's right now it's not the time for sure.
Yeah.
I like keeping some things secret.
Yeah, right. You could always release it like after the album's out.
Oh yeah, I think also that'd be so interesting for people to go back and see what we were thinking, and also it's ever changing. The longer I spend on pre-production, the better it gets. Like objectively, I think the better it gets.
Yeah.
And then I have also like the big playlist, which Ella's talking about, but then also individual songs will have just. Oh man, it's so much, but trying to be thorough, and it just means that we're gonna step in and record the record fairly quickly. From what I can see, that's gonna happen. I think the Sound Emporium, the big room, Studio A, is what we're going for, which I think I'm gonna be shaking the whole time. in a good way. A lot of vibrato on the record.
That's really exciting. That's really exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait, Jac. That's really cool.
Dude, thank you. You've been here for all of it.
Yeah, I want to keep being here for it as a friend, and also on the Fun Zone. I want to keep hearing what's been going on. Ella, you are on a different part of a album cycle, because you put out your album, I guess 5 months ago, was it?
Yeah, in August. Yeah.
August?
Mhm.
So 3 months ago. That's like not even that long ago.
Yeah.
Or 4 months ago, depending. I don't know. Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, not very long.
Yeah. What have you been up to? I know you've been making some music videos for the Arcadian Wild.
Yeah, the chalkboard stop motion animation. We're about to start the 4th one for their 4th song. We're gonna do a little. This is so controversial. We're going to go visit his grandparents for Christmas, Isaac's grandparents, and because they insist that we do so, we're gonna do like a quarantine beforehand, like a super more intense than what we have been doing, and we're gonna make the 4th video during that, because every time that we make one of those videos, it's essentially a quarantine anyway.
I just know, yeah.
Where are you? Like in the basement.
You can't really contact them.
Yeah.
You're like, hello?
So that one right before Christmas, but I've been shipping out all of my Kickstarter rewards from this album, and which has been so fun, because I'm writing a little thank you note to everybody who backed it, and like with all of the merchandise that they get, and it's so, Jac, I hope you do something like this. I mean, it's like a lot of time and a lot of work, but it is so sweet to have a few minutes to think about each person individually that helped make the record happen. So that's been really cool. And then
cool.
I'm working on some new music, a new project that I'm really excited about, and is kind of secret, so I won't tell you about it.
Is it sweet love songs?
And I will.
Yeah, Jac about it, but she won't tell you about it either. It is sweet songs, but there's a new factor. So
snap.
Secret factor.
Yeah, secret factor.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to keep waiting on that. That sounds cool. I'm excited to hear whatever you make.
We should have a private Zoom exchange.
Yeah, we can
after this.
I'm so excited. I'm getting a notebook in today. That is like gonna be my notebook for this project, and it's the most beautiful one that I've ever bought. And I'm really excited.
Oh, can you tell us?
What, the notebook?
Yeah, we want it.
Yeah, well, I'll send it to you. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember.
Is it Moleskine?
It's not.
Everybody's screaming about those.
No.
In a good way.
Those are really good. Those are awesome.
Yeah, I've got a Moleskine right here.
Let's see.
This is what I use.
Question, Ella, what do you think about the dot books, like the books with dots instead of lines?
No comment.
I don't use lines at all. I just use blank paper, just empty.
I like graph paper a lot.
Because I can like make my own rules. You know what I mean?
Graph paper is so fun.
I love it.
Yeah, I like that too.
That's
y'all, what's y'all's notebook philosophy as far as like, do you have any, like, when you open up a new notebook, what goes through your head? Like, what psychologically happens to you when you start a new notebook? And then 2, when do you finish it? Is it like a last page thing? Or is it a time thing? Is it a season?
It's a time thing for me. I will normally be done with the notebook before it's all used up. But I'll just I just squeeze everything together. So I don't really worry about, I don't get nervous about what I put on there. I'll put anything in. But then like the pages get full. Like I'm trying to find a good example, but I'll have like 4 or 5 different like lists and ideas on one piece of paper, just divided by like a line.
Are they like relating to one topic? Do you go through one notebook at a time?
Yeah, I go through one notebook at a time, and they can be totally unrelated to each other. Like this is some stuff about like PROs, it's just like a bunch of just like
Wow.
different charts and ideas.
That's really pretty.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been taking one-on-one lessons on PROs and royalties and
From Ella?
non-interactive, etc. Through a guy named Dan, my friend
Ella's
Dan.
so mad right now.
Why?
I'm not mad.
How long has she been offering you lessons?
No, that's not true.
Ella, are you a teacher?
No, but my songs are registered.
I'm registered now on through BMI, through Nina at BMI. She's my representative.
Are you doing your publishing there too? We can talk about this later.
Yeah, we can. Whatever. Are you meaning like am I signing a contract, like giving away my publishing to them?
No. Are you are you earning all of the money that you can be earning, or are you only earning half of it?
I'm earning all of it.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Yeah, I'm doing well, let's break into it in case anyone listening cares. I got my IPI number, and let's see. I'm now trying to collect on the composition and the master recording. So I've got the PRO, performance royalties, and the mechanical royalties through Song Trust.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then the non-interactive through Sound Exchange, and then the interactive through DistroKid.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh, you use DistroKid.
Yeah, I switched to DistroKid. So I was using Sound Drop, and they are not a good company. So they got bought by CD Baby, and they literally like 2 people. They're a fine company. I'm sure they're a great company for doing what they're supposed to do, I think. Actually, I just have no idea. But basically, it's just really wacky. And then I switched over to Ditto, and then Ditto Nashville closed. So now I'm on DistroKid. Yeah, they were really nice too.
You've been trying to go local. Like, I mean, local-ish. I like that.
Well, the thing with Ditto was they were like claiming like they were gonna like be more helpful. Like, obviously nobody can guarantee you a playlist, but
yeah,
acting like they were gonna represent me more, and nothing really came of it, because that was with I think Dolphin and Fights and Hey Gigi maybe, and yeah, I mean they both have only received organic streams. So and then the company just went under. So
Wow.
yeah, their Nashville branch at least. So yeah, so it goes. I've kind of had trouble with distribution, but it's okay.
When y'all do y'all look at y'all's like Spotify statistics monthly?
So much.
Not so much.
But I'm also like, I don't know. I'm kind of jaded towards it right now.
That's fair.
If I just put out an album like Ella, maybe I would care more, or be like more excited about it.
When y'all are releasing songs, like, were y'all ever shocked at like what people were drawn to, as opposed to what your maybe favorite tracks were off of y'all's records?
Yes. Yes, definitely. What about you, Ella?
Maybe a little bit. I don't think I think I had heard enough opinions before I was releasing singles that I had heard somebody say everything. Like so the big one is like I have one track called Sound and Fury that is like the one that people write about more than others, and they're like the crowning jewel of the record, and I'm like, that's cool. It's not my favorite, but
wow.
But a lot of people seem to think it's like definitively the best track, and I it's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Cool. That they would assume
like
that you would feel that way too, or that that was like the intention behind it or something.
I think, Jack, for you, it's going to be really surprising because already you hear people saying like having really strong opinions about like this is your best song, and or like this is the coolest song, and yeah, I feel like you're gonna have, and it's like completely dependent on just somebody's personality or opinion or whatever. It's pretty
Yeah. That's interesting. I feel like right now I'm in a vacuum as far as, because I have new songs too.
And it's like your streams are trash. Like your numbers on Spotify are trash.
My Spotify numbers. Ooh.
Are the Fun Zone.
Ooh, man. That's Jack.
Dude, what I was most excited about with my Spotify statistics was that Spotify called me an influencer because I had
What?
Because my playlist had gotten followed.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I actually don't even have an artist account. I don't even think you can have one.
Until you put out a song.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
kind of annoying, yeah.
Really annoying because it's hard to know what it's gonna look like when the song comes out.
Right.
Kind of a bummer.
That's so true.
Yeah, exactly. And your first single is the one that, like, at least for me and for Grant and for some of my other friends, it's like the one that gets the most recognition.
Yeah.
Which I used to think was just because since it was my first song I put out in a long time, that it like people were more attracted to it, and that's what gave it that edge that like sent it flying into the algorithmic sky, and
Right.
got put on Discover Weekly. Because that's what happened with Grant and with me. And I was like, well, no matter what, like even if you put out a song a couple months after another song, there's just less cold audience people going to click on it, even if it's a better song. But now that I've been on TikTok for a while and I've been kind of studying their algorithm, now I'm kind of wondering if Spotify is giving you more success on your first single as a way to like kind of rope you in to using their streaming and like caring about it. So TikTok, when you first create an account, your first few videos get a really good reach, and then pretty soon you settle into a normal reach that feels a little bit more like, I'd say most people I know get like 200 to 300, maybe even 100 views per video. But your first few, like you get a ton of comments and you feel really cool, and you're like, oh, I'm a hotshot, I'm gonna kill it on this app.
Oh,
that's interesting.
Yeah, totally. So anyway, now I'm kind of wondering that about Spotify. Just something that could be an interesting reason why people's first song does so well.
Yeah.
If they're giving it more juice.
More juice. That's so interesting.
I don't know. It is interesting. And oh, Jack, you have your hand raised?
Sorry. I'm very
I've lowered your hand.
I'm inexperienced with Zoom. So
how'd you do that?
This button called raise hand. And I clicked it.
It tells me, it's like, Jack has raised her hand.
Oh, perfect.
And now I can lower it now that I've called on you. Yes, Jack?
Can I raise my hand in real life?
No, you're going to need to do it on the app.
It looks like you don't have any fingers because of lighting.
Yeah, you look like the Walker ghost.
Freeze, where are you right now? Are you in a game closet?
I am. I'm in the toy closet. It's the only place left. So this is where I am. Because, my dad teaches middle school. My sister does therapy sessions, both from home now over Zoom, just, because of COVID. So
can we play right now?
What'd you say?
Can we play one of those games right now?
So actually, the more interesting thing is right here, I've got a stack of Barbies.
No. Oh, no.
Yeah, here's Baywatch Ken.
Oh, no.
I think my mom's trying to sell these. We found these at my grandmother's house that maybe is like gifts she had bought but never given to anyone.
Oh, that's so...
I mean, they're really old, and apparently they're worth a little bit of money.
Wow.
My first tea party Barbie. Barbie's ready for tea.
Oh, my goodness. I want to go back, Jack, to your question about the notebook. I'm curious to know...
Oh, yeah.
What is it like when you start a new notebook?
Man, I think it does something to me mentally. I don't know. I think I'm excited, but I also think about all the other times that I've started notebooks.
Yeah.
I keep several notebooks at a time for a couple of reasons. One, because I think I can't find a notebook and I'm like, I have to get this idea down immediately, which is actually true if I want it to survive. So I'll just, start another one. But I've been a little bit better about it. This moleskin with dots. I'm a big fan of dots. Just for me, this is more like my sort of to-do list, and I've got stuff down, and then I'll scratch it off, and that just feels like this is my like structure brain, and it even is like a sharper notebook. Like there's no bins, it's hardback.
Whoa.
And then I've got, for a long time, I've been using these guys, and it says brilliant ideas on the front, and on the inside I think it says girl boss, which is quite a
that's great.
Yeah, but this is more my like journal. I don't ever
Screenshot that.
Oh yeah. I don't ever
Dear
I don't
diary.
ever like songwrite in it. I do a lot of personal journaling, and then oftentimes it turns into stream of conscious writing. Like I will, rhyme or find. And then, okay,
Sick.
gotta start doing this. You get those G2 pens, get yourself a 0.5 and then a 10, which I think means actually 1 millimeter and then half a millimeter for the ballpoint. And then go write down what you want with a 0.5 and then go back. Find the stuff you love.
Yeah.
And then essentially you're bolding it. I'm not a super structured person, but I don't think I'll ever stop doing that.
That's cool. That's a good idea.
It's
That's
so
awesome.
Wow.
like even, and I'm afraid to open any pages because you just never know. But like that's kind of what my notebook looks like. I'll give you another flash.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because I have no idea what.
It's a perfect amount of blurry.
This is Ella's drawing.
Cool.
It's a cool. It's a,
No, I like it.
she looks at your face and doesn't look down at her paper.
Oh yeah, I've seen her do that. That's really fun.
Ella, I know you have a philosophy on notebooks, even if you don't call it that.
It's cool to hear yours. Your questions were too specific to not come from like experience,
You're right. I was like, ask about me. Ask.
Yeah. Yeah, I think opening and like starting a new notebook is so exciting, and it feels to me always like the beginning of a new era, because it's like I do generally one notebook at a time, and it's like specifically right now I'm working on this, but I like to keep the influence of everything else that I'm learning like in my life at the time, thinking about like for me, everything that's going on right now will somehow play into like the project that I'm writing right now. And so I like to keep it all in the same place so that as I'm like ruminating on something, it somehow like develops into a part of the project. But yeah, I never write on the first page of a notebook. Do you feel that? I never write on the first page. Is that you guys use the first page?
I write on the first page.
Let me see.
I write my name.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's cool.
Oh.
And I'll draw.
Is it blank? On the second page, I write like a note. I write a letter to myself, pretty much.
I love that.
So that when I'm like farther along in the whatever project I'm working on and like feel a little bit lost, I like go back to the first letter and I'm like, okay, my focus at the beginning of this was this and this and this. I think I've sent you guys a picture of one of those before because sometimes they're hilarious to like go back and look at. It's almost like a love letter and like a focus and like a vision statement all together at the beginning of it.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Huh?
I love starting a new notebook.
When do y'all do like it's like journaling? For me, I'm writing down a lot of like lists and like goals and kind of expectations. That's more what I do inside of a notebook. Do y'all do any of that, or is it more just writing journaling and free verse.
That's what my 2 notebooks are for.
So you have 2. Oh, right. So
I'm
one does one,
basically
one does the
both
other.
of y'all in one person.
Wow, I never
Just
thought
kidding.
about it like that,
That's just not true at all. Otherwise, I would be so much cooler and better.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
right. That's so true. You would be.
Oh gosh. Freeze. Wait, Ella, you have to answer that question, but I have to ask. Freeze, do we really have only 9 minutes left?
We do, but we're going to do a second meeting after this. You only have 40 minutes on a Zoom call now.
Oh, and that was because I was so late.
It's because you have to pay money on Zoom to do more than 2 people for more than 40 minutes.
Oh wow.
Oh wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but it's all good. It's all good. We can do another one. And it gives us a good chance to have a 5-minute break, and then we reassess. We break into the even heavier questions.
Whoa.
So what I want to know, here's what I'm curious about in terms of like making goals and like lists and stuff. Do y'all have like a specific game plan for like 2021 or even like 2025? Do y'all think that far ahead? Because I personally don't have any, like I have no, at most I can kind of have a vague idea of what I want to get done in 2021. That's it for me.
I'm the same. Yeah. I just want to play shows. That's my only goal for 2021 is to actually get to play Dream.
Yeah, right. To play your album for the first time, since it came out to a live audience.
Yeah, I want to be able to do my album release tour next year.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And that's pretty interesting. I mean, obviously it's first and foremost a total bummer and drag, but like, maybe there will be some sort of interesting conclusion that comes from like giving people more time to listen to the record before touring it, where it's like they'll actually have an opportunity to be pretty familiar with it.
That is so true. There is that. Oh.
About Jac? You, Jac? 2025?
Oh man. Oh yeah, I'm pretty future oriented. That was a good question for me. Probably the least like plan oriented, other than like you were talking about the vague plans. I have those too for 2021, but I think it's more vague now than it ever has been before, just because of the season that we're in.
Yeah.
But then also like I have like steps, very clear steps ahead of me, so it's less like I don't know, I guess I don't. Oh man, I think I just gave you a non-answer, but I'm also comfortable with that.
Yeah, that was kind of a non-answer. Do you I mean, obviously for you, you've got specific goals with your album, which is going to be, what is there like a set release date for that?
No.
Cool.
No, I mean,
don't you have to do that with Kickstarter? Give like a specific date?
You don't. You give people a month for which the record is going to be like in their hands.
Right.
So I guess that doesn't give me a certain release date, but what is probably going to happen is people are going to have the record in their hands before it's on Spotify.
Whoa, no way.
Yeah. I don't and that might really throw my statistics or my like streams or whatever, but that's kind of what Wakelow did. I've just like what I want to do is I want to respect the people that gave to my Kickstarter, but also respect the process that is releasing music in a beneficial way for me, which means singles, maybe doing like combining a 4-single thing into like a tiny EP. That's I've thought about that. But I want to, because August 2021 is what, and I know that's really far away. I'd like to keep to that for getting my Kickstarter people their packages. But also I
Did you say April?
August.
Sorry, my phone started going crazy.
Oh,
August. Okay. Cool.
yeah, and it's so that's a long time ago away.
Yeah.
But I also know that they'll probably be understanding if I send everybody a sweet message and explain myself.
Sure.
But
Totally.
that feels still very doable, even with like there have been a couple things that have really affected the timeline of the record,
Hmm.
that were out of out of my control.
Yeah.
But I feel strongly about um, just kind of the factors that I'm dealing with when I'm releasing a record and keeping an eye on that.
Do you feel like that's one of the risks that doing a Kickstarter, contains, which is that you're
Yeah.
promising a release and a release date you're at near the beginning of an artistic project, and you're kind of giving people like an end date for when it will be completed. That's a hard thing to deliver.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I think it's good for me because you know me. I'll be doing the same thing for forever. As in, no, that sounds crazy, but I mean, like I'll be prepping for this project for forever unless I've got a deadline.
Yeah, it's good to
So
have
that's good.
deadlines.
Yeah, it's good for me. But yeah, and some people, I think there is a risk with Kickstarter. Like I know that there are some people that would be really frustrated. There's not very many people will be frustrated that you didn't give them the record the month that you told them to. But far and away, the majority of the people that are supporting you and your project and your album want you to get it right. And I don't think I'm too worried.
Yeah.
But in the same, there's that other thing that I was talking about is like respecting people's expectations, and I want to be kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. I'm going to send y'all a new link, and I'll see y'all on the other side.
Commercial break.
Commercial break. Hey, okay, so Jac, you were just talking about Kickstarter. We were just talking about Kickstarter. I have one more question relating to that for Jac and Ella, who both have had very successful Kickstarters that they have recently completed. Do y'all think Kickstarter is the way of the future? Do you think that everyone should do Kickstarters, and it's like your fans are your label now, and that's just how it should, or is it like every artist should consider it for one album, or like, you know what I mean? Like what do y'all think the relationship is with Kickstarter in the music industry? You encourage everyone to do it?
I want to hear what Ella says. What you got?
I wouldn't encourage everyone to do it. I don't know. Now is especially difficult because like artists especially need extra finances now if they're going to create, but also the whole Kickstarter field is like super saturated now. Like we all know a ton of people who have done them this year.
Right.
Which can like become a strain if you're like feel like you have to support all of these and you want to, but
Right.
it's like also serious work. It really is. It's crazy how intense they are. And some people, I think if you have a financial alternative, it's worth not. I don't know. I also think it was amazing and I had an incredible experience, and part of me thinks if like Bono or Jacob Collier or somebody huge who doesn't need to do that, if they did a Kickstarter, it would be incredible. Like then you would get to be a part of their project, and I don't know. It's a good question, Freeze. I have no idea.
If the rewards are actually as valuable as you're paying for them to be, then in that sense it's really just a transaction, and you're pre-ordering this package of merch and exclusive merch. And I mean, in a sense, that's something that's always existed. If I went on Daw's website, I could probably buy like a signed poster and a t-shirt, and I can also join people's paywall Patreons, but yeah, I mean, in a different sense. So if it is coming out of charity, like in the way you're kind of portraying, like having a lot of friends doing it and feeling like you want and need to support them, then it can be it's kind of a different thing. Would y'all consider 2-3 years from now doing another one? Because and for context also, if we want to talk, like the Arcadian Wild, who we're all big fans of and friends with, and even married to, they've done like 3 and they've all been successful. So like I'd also be interested to talk to them about this sometime. But like, yeah, would y'all be interested in doing it again in a few years?
I think so. I think it was hard mentally to just go through the process of starting and then starting to build the creation that is the Kickstarter, and then like the month of launching it was also difficult. So I don't know if I would really look forward to it. But obviously, it's making my record right now.
Yeah.
I also think with like Taw, I think what's so great about their Kickstarters is that the first one, you know, the first one you do, a lot of your friends are supporting you, and that's what happened to me too. But I think what's made their process of Kickstarter so sustainable and also um, just really, I don't know. I feel like what is because the people that are supporting that record aren't it's not like you're sort of like draining your friends because
Right.
they really their fan base has just grown and grown and grown, and so each Kickstarter it feels like they now have like a new base of people that this like is new to, and I guess as a friend for me I feel like less responsible for
Right.
like
Yeah.
carrying and also like posting about their Kickstarter. I will, and obviously I want to be there for them, but it's also I think the way that they've done it is it really is like their fan base I think really wants it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not to say that like if I did one tomorrow that people wouldn't also be excited about it, but I think there probably is like a respectful timeline to do a Kickstarter and to ask for support. Freeze, what you said about like pre-orders with DAWs, I would love, someday if I did a Kickstarter or something like it, for it to be more transactional, and be like it would be less of a finance the record and more like pre-order the record, because you use that language
Right.
when you're talking about Kickstarter, but really making it more about the fans I think is the goal in the end. And I would love to be able to have enough money to make phenomenal records, but I think that I'm pretty far from that for now, so I needed to do it.
Right. Well, when I did a Kickstarter in 2017, like
Mm-hmm.
January 2017,
Yeah.
and it was my idea at the time was that I would kickstart this album, and that album would kickstart my career, and then I would never
Mm-hmm.
look back. And in the future, when I needed funding, I would never have to do a Kickstarter again, because I would be making, in some ambiguous way, be making enough money
Yeah,
to do that.
with
And
like streams.
yeah, and that's just not been the reality. So I guess the question is Kickstarter like a sustainable thing, or like if you can avoid doing it for whatever reason, even if that's like doing a Patreon or doing like just selling a successfully, like selling tickets, or your paintings or whatever it is, like doing some, you know what I mean, like is, or can Kickstarter just be like something that everyone does, and it's just like, I don't know, that's just interesting. That's interesting.
I think it's time for you to do one.
Yeah, if there was a Freeze Kickstarter, it would be crazy.
I appreciate you saying that. If I've been thinking about it, and I just don't know. I go back and forth. I go back and forth, honestly. And I've heard a lot of different opinions on it. So I've been I wanted to get y'all's because y'all have both done them and very
Yeah.
successfully,
No, I think that the world is ready for another one. I think that the people that are listening to your music, I think there's so many more people that are ready to give to Freezism.
Well, what
I think
about
so.
that versus like a Patreon? Do you think those people would rather pay $5 a month and get like exclusive free stuff and be on a Freeze Discord and be a part of a community that's like more long lasting than like a one-off transaction? Have y'all ever considered doing a Patreon?
I just realized that if you get a Discord, you're gonna call it the Fun Zone, and we won't be the Fun Zone anymore.
Yeah, so we're going with a no. It's a no
Yeah.
from us.
Dang, yep. Definitely respect that. What do y'all think? How, genuine question, how do artists make money anymore without a record label just giving you the money, which that in of itself is just some sort of advance that you make back. So that's not even really making money. That's like a loan.
Yeah.
If we're on the same page with that. So how do artists make money? How would any of us three or anyone support themselves as an artist? Is my question.
It's supposed to be tour and merchandise now. Touring
and merchandise.
I mean, like when we were in classes a couple years ago, that's what everybody told us. Like that, obviously, it's not going to be the actual music anymore, unless you're crazy big.
Right.
But touring and merchandise. But that's like not super helpful right now, obviously.
Right.
I agree. Yeah.
Well, what about? I mean, I think Patreon's got a real contender. And
yeah. I just think I'm not the person to ask about Patreon, but I think I've been thinking about it.
Yeah. Creating a community, it's sustainable. It's like monthly, like subscription based, which is what a lot of like applications seems to be moving towards, whether they're like social media, dating apps and streaming services. And, there's so many things that people pay monthly for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always thought it is. And then I guess another one would be maybe monetization, like YouTube, getting paid for streams with ads,
Oh yeah.
or through sponsorship, like on TikTok or on Instagram if you're like sponsored, like an influencer. Maybe that's like a way that people make money.
The YouTube monetization is so hard to get into.
Really? Why is that?
Well, just an entrance to YouTube monetization, I think you've got to be making so many videos. And it is true, like the numbers just to get in the door to start getting monetized and getting like even an official account. I was looking at those the other day and I was like, wow, I'm probably like a tenth of the way there. And it has to be consistent too.
A tenth of the way on YouTube?
Yeah. It can't be like all the streams that you got from that YouTube video you did in 2017. You went like semi-viral.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
not me specifically.
It's such a consistent thing. But then you're like thinking about like your Patreon. I wonder if that would be in some ways the same amount of work. I know that Patreon is you have to be, making content all the time. I wonder.
Right.
Yeah, monetization on YouTube. I was really interested in that and then just dropped because I don't know.
Right. It seems as if it's just it's frustrating because it seems like a lot of the traditional ways to make money or make it as in a career, for anyone, even it could even expand this outside of the music industry, but the traditional ways to like make money and survive are gone, and then the alternative ways that we like think exist are almost like fictitious. Like you're like, oh, you could be a YouTuber, but then you're like, well, that actually doesn't work out. Or it's like I could drive for Uber, but then I don't have health insurance or something. You know what I mean? It's like there's this catch. It's like it's not actually like a new and exciting alternative. A lot of the times, it's like I don't know. I just think it's frustrating, and that's why I wanted to genuinely ask y'all if there is what you guys do think, like, about how to make money in the industry.
Wow,
This
dude.
is crazy. Just thinking about it all of a sudden right now. I
Yeah,
think
you're.
my belief is in, like, my hope is in touring. I think
Cool.
automatically, I don't even really think about it. I just expect, like, that's my expectation.
Right.
Um,
Same.
but clearly right now we have to, like, be creative.
And I'll say the frustrating thing with Patreon is that, or I think what holds me back from doing it is it, like Jack said, you really have to be creating a lot of content to do that. And you're hiding that content behind a paywall. And it
Yeah,
seems like at the beginning of your career, you wanted to get as much exposure as possible. So it almost
yeah,
seems like to limit yourself to like, okay, Patreon, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna make art for y'all now. And then it's like,
yeah,
oh, am I gonna peak my career and just have like 20 fans? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you
Yeah.
can do both, but it's a lot of hard work. And I've only personally seen like, there's one Patreon that I'm like literally about to sign up for this week because it's like a podcast I really like, and they do like
mm,
bonus episodes.
cool.
Ooh.
And I'm just like, oh, this is a really successful way, really easy way to like do both. And I'm like a genuine fan because I get a new podcast once a week, but then also they do one on Patreon every week too. So
Who's that? What podcast is that?
it's called Podcast But Outside, and they are on the streets of LA and they just talk to different people, and they're two not. I don't want to say comedians because that gives you the wrong impression. Like they're like, "Hey, Bucko," and they're like, think they're really funny, but it's just two like young, kind of like, one's pretty popular on TikTok, and they just kind of talk to people. And sometimes it's genuine, sometimes it's funny.
That's cool.
Yeah, Jack. I
Wow.
hope I didn't bum you out too much, man.
I honestly was about to say that you did.
Dang, dude. Dang.
I feel, I don't know. I guess whenever I'm talking about this, I want to be like hopeful for
Yeah.
other people who are trying to do what we're doing. So I think like my knee jerk reaction is to like not talk about it right now, and like to be like, shh, don't tell anyone that it's hard for us.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't know. I think I say that now because um, I think what you're saying is really important, and I wish that there was like some answer. But then, like Ella, I think I'm on the same page as her. That I'm just gonna get a job right now and hope for the future.
Yeah.
But that, to me, that sounds like, in my head, it sounds like a defeat. It sounds like right
Yeah.
now, like we're admitting defeat, which isn't true, because I think the three
No.
of us will be making music for the rest of our lives, and
Right.
soon we'll be financially dependent on exclusively that.
Cool.
And I
Yeah.
say that, but even in the context of this conversation, we're like, are we sure? And I don't like that.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Man,
It
you were right about the hard hitting questions, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second. Yeah. Put it in the second half. Act two, baby. Um. Yeah. Well, I just know that y'all are two very well informed people who I know think about this a lot. So that's why I wanted to ask you some of these questions. But you know, there is a little bit of uncertainty, and part of what we do as artists, and part of why we've all three been able to keep doing is because we we just walk out on that limb and
Yeah.
just trust that it's going to keep going, and it has. And I've seen both of y'all accomplish a lot of success in your careers. So if you keep holding on to that dream, I think that you can do anything. And so don't lose hope.
Yeah. Also, I keep thinking back to like our mentors who were making music in the 80s, and in some ways CDs were $20, but they didn't have the framework and maybe the community that we do, of people on the ground running. Kind of,
Yeah.
in a lot of ways, their only hope was to get signed, and then if you didn't, you led worship, or were like hopped from train to train and made music because you love it. which in a way that sort of feels like what we're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think the goal right now is just to not feel alone in our journey, and I definitely don't. So there is that, like, even with what you're talking about right now, at least, you know, I get to talk about it with you.
Sure,
And
yeah.
I just keep saying, you know, we're going to be making music for the rest of our lives. And even with like rejection and disappointments at Katy Perry. I'm just kidding. Even with that, I'm just like, I can just stare into the camera and say, you know, we carry on, and people have been doing this for forever, and we just get to live in their shadows.
Yeah, I think that's true. And I think that hopefully by being a little transparent about the situation, we can work for a better future too, because there are ways to fix a lot of these things. You know, we're just living in a current transitional time right now where like things are just changing and we haven't quite figured it out. And I mean, I even saw yesterday that there's like 49 like people in government. I think it was like congressional. I don't know, but they're like coming after Facebook, trying to split up. They can like contract, like legally make Facebook sell Instagram and WhatsApp, and it's like these mega corporations that get broken up, and like the people get more power, and we can like advocate for stuff. You know, people making more money per stream, and you know, there's just ways that that people can be supported more, that musicians can be supported more, and on top of that, yeah, just I think that maybe whereas people used to, a record label give them a bunch of money and then they would pay their rent and pay for their groceries. Now it's like you run your own merch website and you might maybe have a Patreon, and you maybe you get some streams and you get on a playlist, and you know, it's just, you got to be a little more crafty now and have a bunch of different ways that you're creating income and also creating as a creator, you know, creating art and creating content or whatever you want to call it. You know, I think that's why so many, even of our heroes who are still in the game, are like on social media and also touring so much and making music and just doing so many different things, you know.
Yeah.
You got anything, Ella?
I think it's crazy that we get to be artists. I think it's really special. I don't know. It's crazy to me all the time when artists make, like, I was talking to somebody who is an illustrator and does wood carvings, and I was talking to him about possibly doing a poster for my record, and he told me what it would cost, and it was like way out of my budget. And I just thought, I was just like, man, that is so awesome that you can charge that for your art. And and it's so, I feel so lucky to be at a time in the world and the space that, like, the location that we're at, where we can, even when there are like extra struggles like there are for us right now, we are still, all three of us, primarily devoted to making our art. And that's so cool. It's so cool. And, a lot of times I guess it means like either working other jobs as well, or living in a place that we can afford that's not as great as where we want to be, whatever it is. Yeah Like we're making compromises in order to pursue the art that we're pursuing, but it's still so special that we get to do it. And yeah, Jac, you're so right that being in this boat with other people that we admire and care about is really helpful. And yeah, it's crazy. We're crazy.
We're some crazy cats.
Yeah.
You got to be a little crazy to do it.
Yeah.
If it was a big industry with a lot of money, then who knows why you do it? You know, it's like, but when you give up everything to follow a dream, that's when you know you're serious. And it's like alchemy, and you're losing all the things that you don't need to hang on to. You got that gold. You turn into gold. A heart made of gold. Well, cool, y'all. I appreciate y'all coming on and talking with me. I guess we were about towards the end of the episode, unless you got anything else you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I have a question, Freeze, for you.
What's up?
If you were in an alternate universe where you were half one animal, half Nordista Freeze, as Alexa. Have you ever heard Alexa say your name? No, what do you say?
Hi, Nordista Freeze.
Yeah. If you were half an animal and half Nordista Freeze and half an inanimate object, it can be 3 halves because it's an alternate universe where everything is 150%.
Everything's 1.5.
Yeah. Well, half again as much. Have you heard that phrase? Half again as much.
Oh yeah.
What animal and inanimate object would be part of you?
I'd be a puppy dog and a racquetball.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
And then bounce around.
Bouncing all the time.
That's adorable. That's great. That's all I want.
Yeah, that's easy. I'm going on a date with the woman on Jac Thompson's shirt tonight.
An actual date?
Date?
I don't know. That's what it's called.
Wait,
Yeah.
Who said date?
She did, and I did.
Whoa.
Dude,
I'm
you
ready for this.
can't do that.
Oh, sorry. Never mind.
Friends can't date.
Oh.
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. No, this is great. This is the opening of a romantic comedy, I believe.
That's true.
Wow.
I think we're going to go to, have you ever heard of this place? I've been looking at places on Yelp if y'all have any recommendations. I found a place called Etc. That looks pretty interesting. Have y'all been there?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, I think so.
No?
That's,
Is it not the vibe?
No, it is. It's totally the vibe. It's totally
Seems
the
to get
vibe.
really good reviews.
I'm excited for you.
Cool.
Hey, you guys should, since you're both so good at this kind of thing, the best date ever for the two of you would be if you took Instagram dares together.
That is true.
That would be fun. That's actually not a bad idea. In fact, I'd say it's a good idea.
Wait, I want to know how serious you are. Freeze, are you serious about this being a date?
You know,
or are you saying that for entertainment purposes?
It is a date. I mean, we're going to a nice restaurant. I'm paying for it.
Wow. That is so exciting.
Neither one of us are willing to state how real it is or not. She's also been pressed. So I guess we'll see.
I didn't hear that last bit because Siri was talking to me. Was it exciting?
It said, I cannot play Nordista Freeze. Thanks, y'all, for coming on the Fun Zone. This has been awesome. I'm going to end the episode, but we can keep chatting afterwards if you want.
Okay.
I love y'all. And for anyone, it's so funny over there.
I just when I asked you to repeat yourself, I said the word SIRI. And you just were like this. Again. And then the next thing I heard was, all right, guys, it's been great. I was like, this is, it seems like you're keeping something from me, but it's okay.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I'll have to listen later.
All right. Talk to you later. Hey, thank you, everybody, for joining us at Fun Zone. This has been Nordista Freeze here with Jac Thompson and Ella Mine. You can support Ella Mine at ellamine.music on Instagram is where you can keep up with her music, and Jac Thompson at Jac Thompson Music. Is that right? Mm-hmm. On
Without
Instagram.
A K.
Without a K, just JAC. My name is Nordista Freeze. It's too late to support Jac and Ella's albums because they have already been fully funded. But if you Venmo them some money, maybe they can still get you in.
Merch sale on my website.
Merch sale on Ella's website.
For discount.
Let's defy the odds. Let's defy what Jac's saying, and let's get monetized. So please like and subscribe.
Prove Jac wrong.
Prove Jac wrong. I'm going to get
I would love
monetized.
that.
So if you want to support an independent artist who lives with his family, consider liking and subscribing, and follow me on Instagram as well. All right. Anything else? I think that's it.
I think that's
I love
it.
y'all so much. Thank
I
you for
love you,
joining me.
Freeze.
This has been
Thanks
Fun
for
Zone.